Hello everyone, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Today I have an audiobook for you. I've had another one that I've been listening to on my walks at work. I just find it really nice to be able to listen to a book while I'm walking. It's quite satisfying. Today's book is The Lock-In by Phoebe Luckhurst. That is the front cover, nice and pink. Nice and pink for you today. So it's by Phoebe Luckhurst and it's read by Remy Milner. And yeah, I'll just, I love this. You've heard of a locked room mystery, now get ready for a locked room rom-com. So I'll get in with that blurb for you. Ellen and Alexa have survived hangovers, dodgy landlords and most of their 20s together. But can they survive this? One Saturday morning while nursing the hangover from hell, a flooded kitchen leads best mates Ellen and Alexa and hapless housemate Jack into their attic to turn off the water supply. And when Ben, Alexa's date from the night before, walks in, the door slams and the handle breaks and all four of them are trapped. Cue the worst morning after the night before. As the hours tick by, Ellen nurses her sore head and watches as her best friend falls for this handsome stranger, only for a horrifying realisation to hit. She is sure she knows Ben from somewhere. Frantically searching her memories, Ellen tries to piece together exactly how they've met before. When a distant memory finally comes to her, she desperately wonders, could Ben really be who she thinks he is? And more importantly, what on earth is she going to do about it? So yeah, this is very much a they're all trapped in one room situation. It's 10 hours and 11 minutes on duration. I read it on about 1.5 speed because my brain just processes things too quickly, and I just prefer, because I'm a fast reader anyway, so it makes sense that I'd want to listen to it slightly sped up. And it's in comedy, contemporary, general fiction, humorous and romance, and target audience adults, though I think the teenagers probably would enjoy this book. So it's Ellen, Alexa, Jack and Ben. Those are your four characters that you end up trapped in an attic with. So they wake up the morning after the night before and go downstairs and realise that the sink is overflowing. There seems to be some issue where the kitchen has essentially been flooded and they can't figure out how to turn off the water. And so this is a rented house. You'd think they would just call the landlord to get it fixed, but their landlord is a landlord from hell. And they think that no matter what they do, if they do actually contact the landlord, their biggest fear is that he's going to evict them, even though it's not their fault. And so they're just trying to do everything by themselves. So having known where they had to fix the electrics from in the attic when the lights went off, they think, oh, maybe they can turn the water off up there as well. And then they go up. And then I think it's Jack who's just like, oh, actually it should be under the sink. Somebody goes off to try and sort out under the sink, but it won't move. So they head back up again and say, look, we really need help turning the water off. Can somebody please come down while you're still in the attic? And then while they're all messing about in the attic trying to get somebody to go turn the water off, Ben comes in, the non-housemate, the one that was just there for the night, comes in, and when the door closes, the door handle falls off. And then they realise, oh my god, we are stuck in the attic and the kitchen is filling up with water. And that's where we are for the majority of the book. There's a lot of flashbacks as to how people know each other. So you get lots of flashbacks into basically all of them, really, except for Ben. You don't really hear much from Ben until afterwards. But while they're in the attic, there's lots of flashbacks to Ellen and Alexa. How they met, how their friendship developed, how they ended up renting this place together, their university lives, and yeah, so it mainly focuses on the two girls, but you do get information from the boys as well. Oh, I felt everything. I was laughing. There were points when I wanted to hit characters because they were told they were being really stupid. Jack, the amount of times I wanted to thump Jack was ridiculous, because his story, his part of the story was just, it was almost annoying. Like, I felt annoyed for the girls with what Jack was doing, because I bet your next question is, phones, couldn't they call anybody? Where they are in the attic, they can't get signal. And the moment that they do check phones, there's one phone that's pretty much already dead, and when they have a bar of signal, they spend too long pointing over who they should call. The battery dies while they're trying to figure that out. Jack does have his phone on him at pretty much full power, but because the internet connection is so spotty, he basically hangs out by the skylight for the majority of the book trying to get signal. There were plenty of times when I was just thinking, why wouldn't they just wake somebody up? But it is explained fairly quickly that they can't actually climb out. It's not actually safe for anybody to climb out onto the roof. But they do eventually fasten a sign that they kind of throw out of the window to say help. And there's a couple of times when they kind of just reach up and hello, screaming, trying to see if anybody is there. But it's early on a Saturday morning, so there's nobody about. And yeah, so you're just seeing nearly everything that I came across was why don't they do this? In a second, it'll be explained why they can't do that. You see them attempt to do something that you thought, why don't they do that? And it doesn't go well. So yeah, it has an answer for every question that you have. Though when it came to Ellen figuring out where she knew Ben from, I definitely had it twigged fairly early on. Not the who, but kind of the how and why. Because at first she doesn't realise that she recognises Ben. Alexa and Ben met on a dating site, and at first Ellen thinks that she met Ben on a dating site as well. But then they start talking about their childhoods, and Ellen and Ben realise they actually grew up fairly close to each other. They had lots of friends in common at school, and you realise that basically from the days of MSN, I know that I had conversations with people, I had people who I only spoke to on MSN and nowhere else. But yeah, they start sharing their MSN handles. And so Ellen says what hers was, Ben says what his was, and Ellen's oh my god, we spoke on MSN every day for a certain summer. And he's going, I have no recollection of this. And straight away my brain went into who else had access to his MSN account. That's instantly where my brain went, but none of the characters go there. I'm just going to say, I was asking the right question there, because he has absolutely no memory of speaking to Ellen on MSN, even though Ellen's there going, well, it was definitely that handle, it was definitely that username that I spoke to every day for a summer. Because it's obvious that they ran in the same circles, they had friends in common, and yeah, so that kind of the main thing of them trying to figure out how they possibly know each other, and how Ben could possibly forget basically having an MSN girlfriend. But lurking in the background, you've got Jack, who has realised at a certain position near the skylight, he can get signal on his phone. This is why I really wanted to kick him. And so instead of calling anybody, he decides to start a Twitter thread. They've already kind of gone through from when they first argued about who they would call while I think it was either Ellen or Lex's phone was dying. And they were just there is actually nobody that they could call, really, who are nearby. Parents are away, friends are away, it's just they have nobody else they can call. Everybody who they would call is in the house. So, yeah. So when Jack realises he has signal on his phone in a certain spot near the skylight, he goes into protection mode, hiding his phone. While they're distractedly talking, he is there in the corner posting to this Twitter thread, hashtag trapped in the attic. Saying everything that is going on. Oh my god, we are stuck in an attic, 4 of us, and help, please, whatever. Hashtag stuck in the attic. And then from there, he just posts every mundane thing that happens. Oh my god, roommate is now pissing in a box. And from somebody who only has 100 followers, his posts start to go viral. Because the signal is so patchy, it means that, because they get stuck in the attic at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they are in there for hours. They're in there pretty much all day, to be honest, but they do manage to flag down a neighbour. I think it's the person across the road, who gives them some hope by saying they've called a locksmith, but then they don't even see the locksmith. But yeah, so they're just doing what they can to entertain themselves, but it mainly comes from getting to know Ben, like the newbie to the household, Alexa's new boyfriend, and them trying to figure out how Ellen and Ben actually know each other. And obviously, as I said, you've got Jack in the corner, just getting a thrill from the fact that his tweets are going viral, and whenever he is managed to get into the Wi-Fi and he's checking his Twitter thread, and I'm just like, as I said, I wanted to thump him, because it was just like, what are you doing? You're continually posting to Twitter. Why are you not using any of that signal to text somebody? That if you're tweeting, it's like, it just comes across as extremely selfish. He is too busy concentrating on the fact that this Twitter thread is blowing up than the fact that he actually has access to be able to tell somebody where they are and get them out of the attic. As I said, somebody's always had to pee in a box. So, yeah, I was there on the defence for the girls in the story, thinking I would completely understand if they throttled him when they got out of the attic, or as soon as they find out what's going on, because, yeah. I think I listened to this over about a week, and I did enjoy it, but I really just didn't like Jack at all, because he was just there in the corner, just being obsessing over this Twitter thread going viral. And it's just like, if you're on Twitter, surely there's somebody else you can message. But he's just too busy focusing on the fame that is happening. And he's just there going, oh, I'm sure, like, if I'm doing, because when he's talking about, like, his roommate peeing in a box, he was just like, oh, they don't know which one. But when he goes on, they're just like, name and shame. It was like a frustrating read, but also really funny and enjoyable. Like, I felt everything. I was angry, I was laughing, it was just... The lock-in. Phoebe Luckhurst. I just had all the feels. All I'm going to say is that my big question hanging over the whole thing between Ben and Ellen was who had access to his MSN login. It was obviously somebody else in the house. Was it a friend? Was it a sibling? But I was asking the right question pretty much straight away when he was just like, I have absolutely no memory of talking to you on MSN for like months. And she's just there going, but it was definitely your username. My brain just pinging, just going, somebody else was logging into his MSN. I was not an idiot for asking that question. I'll just say that. The lock-in. Phoebe Luckhurst. Frustrating, but so funny. A locked room rom-com. Yeah, with all the talking and everything, you see Ben and Alexa. Because Ellen keeps like interrogating Ben, it does put a bit of a question mark over Ben for Alexa, as she's trying to figure out, like, does he remember? Is he lying? Is he truthful in the fact that he just can't remember? Or was it, like, has Ellen misremembered the username type thing? All these questions. Yeah, the lock-in. Phoebe Luckhurst. You like a good comedy, rom-com style, everybody trapped in a room together. I think you'll enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time with another video. Stay safe, everybody. Love you all. Bye.